Testing. Welcome to Fantasy Football Aces. It's your boy, William Wolf. I'm back, and so is my dog, Bree. We got Easy in the building today with some sharp picks on Thursday Night Football. Let me tell y'all something. We undefeated on Thursday Night Football. Haven't took an L yet. Got some picks right this past Sunday. Main pick was the Miami Dolphins. Came through. Fade Carolina, and you will be a happy man this year so far. Fade the New York Giants, and you'll be a happy man so far this year. So we're going to talk a little bit about the Diamond League. I'm going to make some predictions in the Diamond. I'm got a big matchup this weekend against James O. Correa. 6-0 versus 5-1. The number 1 seed and 2 seed. Pod should be looking good right now, too. I got a couple new lights in this bitch. Yeah. We got a real fucking studio. You know what I'm saying? After that, we're going to talk a little Thursday Night Football. We're going to make a pick. We're going to put some moolah on it. We're undefeated on Thursday night. Why not ride the fucking wave? Like a dolphin. Like a surfer. Hey, man. I feel good. It's Thursday night. Let's get this money. Let's get right into it. In the motherfucking Diamond. Where's my chat at? I made this mistake once. We won't make it twice. Let's make sure I'm live first. It says we're live. I don't know why I don't see the chat. I'm not going to stress it. I know we're live. All right. So, in the Diamond, we got Fantasy Football Aces. Welcome to Fantasy Football Aces. At 6-0. Bringing that up on the screen now. Against Korea. 5-1 Korea. So, this week is going to come down to one thing. Is Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs going to have a big game against Bill Belichick? I say no. And I'm going to pick my team. Obviously, we're going to talk a little bit more about this. But that is the key to the matchup. Is Josh Allen going to connect with Stephon Diggs? We got the young cornerback for New England who's playing great football against whoever he's matching up with. He will be matching up with Stephon Diggs 100%. Bill Belichick and that Patriots team are very bad. But the one thing that they still can do is scheme up on defense and try to stop an individual player and or play decent defense in general. They have done that this year. It hasn't been pretty. They're one of the worst teams in the NFL. Mac Jones is terrible. The offense can't move the chains. But they have been playing decent defense this year. I mean, just take a look at it. You got we'll go in backwards order. They contained Las Vegas, 21 points. New Orleans kind of beat them down, but it was because turnovers and the offense were just giving up easy points. Dallas, same story. The offense gave them 14, I think, off turnovers for touchdowns. They beat the Jets 15-10. Anybody can stop the Jets. Nothing to be proud about there. They held Miami at only 24 points. And only 7 points in the second half. I mean, there's something to be said about that. And they held Philly to 25. So against Buffalo in the division, we know we got to stop Stephon Diggs. Bill Belichick knows that. I think that, there's a very good chance that, we at least contain Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen in this matchup. Keenan Allen going on the road against a division team as well in Kansas City. That's going to be a tough matchup for him. I can't ask for much more. You got White going against Atlanta, who Atlanta's been really good against the run. He's starting Zach Evans against against Pittsburgh's defense. That's a good matchup, but I don't think you can count on that pickup to do much. Not worried about him. Plus, I have Matthew Stafford. So it would be a perfect storm if we throw in a bunch of touchdowns and he doesn't do anything. That'd be the perfect scenario. Sam Laporta in a direct matchup against Mark Andrews, Baltimore against Detroit. So that's going to be a fun one to see who does better in that game. I think Mark Andrews is due for a touchdown. So I'm real excited about this week for him. I think Mark Andrews' touchdown is a strong bet this week. I just like it. James Cook going against New England. Kind of the same situation, right? He's got the running back. I got Matthew Stafford. He's got Josh Allen. I got James Cook. Why not hand it off to James Cook today in that game against New England? You saw what Raheem Mostert did against them. He broke a 40-yard touchdown. He scored another touchdown from the 11. I mean, James Cook, he looks fucking good. Why not give the man the ball? He looks great to me. I mean, I see Latavius Murray come in and, great pass blocking ability, somebody who Josh can really rely on to pick up the right person on the blitz so he can get downfield to his man, Stephon Diggs, who he absolutely just stares down 24/7. It's embarrassing. Why not drop off a little screen pass every once in a while to James when that rush is coming, opposed to just having Latavius Murray trying to block and sending out 3 receivers and staring down Stephon Diggs every single play? I don't know. I don't think Buffalo has the best run-blocking offensive line in the NFL. But give James Cook the ball, man. Why not give the kid the ball? You know what I'm saying? I don't really need him. I got Pollard on a bye this week. I got Nico Collins, DeAndre Hopkins, and Justin Fields hurt. So I got 4 starters out. But James Cook will fill in just nicely. Jamison Williams only had 23 to 30% snaps last week. Only had 3 targets. Was butt naked on that one target he didn't catch. Underthrown by Goff. Jamison trying to make a diving catch. Not having the most confidence in the world on the field, even though I know he said today he's got 150% confidence in himself, which I like to hear. But in reality, on the field, his confidence has been down a little bit. So, he makes a dive on an underthrown ball and doesn't come in down with it. Doesn't bother me because, I don't know, when in the most key play in the game on 3rd down, only up 6 against the Buccaneers, they went up top to Jamison Williams. Yeah, motherfucker. I've been trying to tell y'all about Jamison. I'm a big Jamison believer. And guess what they did? In a big 3rd down, only up 6 points against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Fire the cannons. Up top. Jamison Williams, bitch. Yeah. Motherfucker. And I see a lot more of that coming this week against Baltimore. I'm just hoping he gets up to 35, 40% snaps this week. Just give him 35%. Target him 6 or 7 times. Because if he catches that ball wide open like I see him, he ran a 13-yard comeback route, 15-yard comeback route. I mean, it's supposed to be a 10-yard comeback route, but the man runs so fast, he's 15 yards down the field in that timing. If Goff has just a half a second longer to hit him right off the stop in the chest, this man who's guarding him is on his hands because he couldn't stop fast enough. Jameson can catch that ball and go to the crib. I mean, all the way to the crib. Home. 7. 6 plus the extra. And, I want to see more of that. I know. I mean, I know what the Lions organization likes to do. They like to ease these young men in. Just see what they've done with Gibbs his whole career so far in the NFL, even when he was healthy and Montgomery was both. They were both healthy. Let the kids play, man. That's what you drafted them top 12 for, both of them. 12 and 11. Let the boys play. Alabama boys, they got speed and athletic ability that others just frankly don't have. You're playing a 5th-round pick in Josh Reynolds. You're playing an undrafted other receiver. And then you're giving Marvin Jones Jr. 20% of snaps, who's a 4th-round bum journeyman. Let the motherfucker play. Get him in the fucking game. I know you're going to ease him in. The goal is to get him to 80%, basically what Josh Reynolds is doing. And then you have St. Brown running 90%, and they work together. You know, St. Brown caught a 15-yard deep in route in this last game against the Buccaneers because Jameson was running a deep post. Both safeties are just scared of Jameson going up top. What does it happen? It just leaves St. Brown naked in the middle of the field. These two dudes are going to be fucking complimentary. It's going to be gorgeous. Give the man the motherfucking snaps. Now, this week against Baltimore, as I said, I only expect 30% snaps. I don't expect it to be a big uptick. Get it from 20-something to 30-something. I'm cool with that because I'm just flying them out this week anyways. But if I can see some progressive positivity with snap counts going forward, I'm not going to take the man out of my lineup because the ceiling's too damn high. This dude can catch 2 bombs in a game for 60 and 70, a la Gabe Davis last year. That's the kind of ability he has times 20. This is the next Deshaun Jackson. He is the modern Deshaun Jackson. And let that man keep building confidence. He's going to start catching balls and just getting loose because the dude's twitchy. And on top of that, if he gets any kind of step on somebody, see you later. He's just faster than everybody else on the field. Look what Tyreek Hill's doing in the NFL. Jameson Williams can do these kind of things. Jameson don't have that confidence yet. Tyreek's confidence, we all know he's the best in the NFL, possibly the best athlete to ever touch the turf, the grass, however you want to call it. Now, I'm not saying Jameson's going to be him, but I'm just saying, like, when a guy has that kind of speed, Ali Achan, Raheem Mostert, Waddle, Tyreek Hill, these dudes like that are dominating the NFL right now, if you're not paying attention, that's speed, bro. That's what Mike McDaniels wants. He wants just speed, 4.3 or less. And my man Jameson runs a 4.2, and it's different. You can see it on the field. The man glides. So yeah, I'm excited to throw him in the lineup this week. I don't even consider it if I compare him to DeAndre Hopkins in an offense like Detroit with 40% snaps, like in a half-point PPR format, I'm cool with starting Jameson Williams over DeAndre Hopkins anyways, to be completely honest. So that's a wash. I don't really lose anybody there. But Nico Collins, that's a loss this week. You know, losing him in the lineup is going to hurt. I like his ceiling. We've already seen it. It's 35 plus. His ceiling. He can catch 2 touchdowns and go for $160. He's a big boy and he's fast. You've heard me rant about Nico Collins enough. I'm not going to continue to do so. But Curtis Samuel, I picked him up this week in free agency. And, you know, I'm excited to get him in there. You know, he's been on a little hot streak of touchdowns and scoring 15 points. Sam Howell in that offense, they're like 5th on passes over expected this year. They're a passing team. This week specifically, they're playing against a bad Giants defense who I think, you know, Sam Howell, he seems to be going after Logan Thomas and Curtis Samuel. Why? Because they're in the middle of the field. A lot of young quarterbacks, specifically shorter rookie young quarterbacks, they tend to lean on the tight end, lean on the running back check downs, and or, you know, looking for that slot guy because that's the guy they can really read the best, right? They can see if you're in zone, like when he gets in the window and passes the linebacker, you hit him. That's the reason why he likes throwing to Curtis Samuel. And Dotson's really suffering from that because he's only going to get through 1 or 2 reads, right? His first read's going to be McLaurin. You've seen that 11 targets last week. He's not getting to his second target. So it's like it's really just like he is getting to his second target. I'm sorry, but with Dotson and McLaurin probably primarily lining up on the opposite side of the field, he's not getting to that third target. So it's boom, 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 and a lot of times Curtis is going to be that first read or Logan Thomas. So he's not a horrible play. I definitely will have Nico Collins in the lineup from this next week on. He has a lot of sexy matchups. I'm excited about what I'm going to get for him the rest of the year. But Samuel's just a 1 week rental. I'm eyeing him for week 10 against Seattle as well because I have 2 running backs on a bye that week. My big bye weeks, they're in 3 week increments. I have week 7 a bunch of buys, week 10 a bunch of buys, and week 13 a bunch of buys. Justin Fields, they haven't put him on the IR, so that tells me he'll be back in the next 4 weeks. In a perfect world, I want him to come back against 1, 2, 3, 4. I want him to sit out the next 4 weeks, and then I want him to play against Carolina 100% fresh. That would be ideal for me. Sit out against Vegas, sit out against Kansas City, sit out against New Orleans. I'm okay with that if he does that. That would be 3 weeks sitting out, and then he comes back. And that's kind of what the timeline said with everything I've heard with the, dislocated thumb. It's like a month kind of thing. But it's because they haven't put him on the IR, I believe that, they're eyeing probably a 1, 2, 3 Carolina comeback game. And maybe New Orleans. He's definitely going to sit out these next 2 weeks. And then I would say most likely against New Orleans, he'll be back against Carolina. That's my prediction, or else they would put him on the IR. Unless they're going to put him on the IR late. I've seen that happen before. But I don't think so. I don't think it's as bad as everybody speculates, which is actually a good thing for me, obviously. I think that it's like they're keeping it under wraps, but I don't think it's that horrible. I think it was kind of like just a bad jam. I don't really know. I don't really think it was dislocated. I think it's just a really bad jam, but I'm purely speculating. Got decent running back matchups this week. I got Swift and Mostert. They're playing against each other on Sunday night, so that's fun. You're hoping that, it's a big running back game that night. Obviously, I'll be losing and I'll need some production from those 2 guys to give me a win. So that'll be fun to see. He has all Sunday games, nothing today, and then nothing on prime time. So I'll know my fate essentially by the night game. I'll know what I need from DeAndre and from Raheem Mostert to get that dub. We both don't have any games tonight. He's got Tampa Bay against Atlanta. I like that matchup for him. And Washington against the Giants. I like that matchup for me. He hasn't picked up a kicker yet, but he will. I think he's trying to see which one of these running backs isn't going to play between Reynolds and Foreman. And then he's going to drop one of those guys and pick up a kicker because I don't think he wants to release this kicker. I think he wants it to be his kicker the rest of the year. McLaurin against the Giants, I can see him having a good game. I think it's one of those situations where I pray that Samuel has the good game over McLaurin. That's kind of what you're hoping there. We talked about the Laporta-Andrews matchup. We talked about the running backs that he has. And we talked about the receivers and quarterbacks. So it's going to be a coin flip. I can easily see myself taking an L this week. I'm probably due for an L. But at the same time, I think that this is a really winnable matchup. So I want to try to win this one, especially on a bye week where I got 4 starters out essentially with Pollard, Collins, Hopkins, and Fields. To pull out a win this week and get to 7-0 would be enormous. I think I could do it, though. I really do. I think that I have the matchups to do it, and his team is not that strong right now. Current projections, I've seen this switch. They had me at 12-2 in the number 1 seed a couple days ago, so it switches pretty quickly. But they have myself and Physics Dream Team as the top 2 teams at the end of the year. Current standings, I think these top 5 teams are going to be in the playoffs for sure. I would bet almost every dollar I have to my name on that. And then the rest of these teams are going to be playing for the 6th seed. And to be honest with you, it's too early in the year to tell you which team I think is going to make it to the 6th seed here. On paper right now, I would probably say that Automatic Pickens or Whoopsie, the 2 teams that you see here. But I can see Hurt Thielen's making it as well. He's got a pretty decent team when healthy. So those 3 teams it's logical, but those are the 3 teams I would probably bet on to get into the 6th seed. I would say that I Am Nice, he's essentially eliminated. Bishop Sycamore's eliminated. Comeback Kid, I think he's eliminated. Just team's not strong enough. And Guerrilla Warfare is eliminated. In the last seed with the lowest amount of points, Highly, who I know is very sad, his team's just absolutely fucking dreadful. It's a bad ball club. Last seed, lowest points. That tells you that it's just the truth. And the truth hurts. But he's got a bad ball club. On paper, it doesn't look bad. Jahmyr Gibbs, Pacheco, and Breece Hall, those are 3 good running backs on paper. But Gibbs has just been a nightmare. Breece Hall's coming on a little too late. A little too late. And then Pacheco, he kind of figured him out a little bit too late. He didn't start him in one of these weeks that he should have. I want to say it was this week 4. He started a different guy over him, and he should have started him. So he missed like his good week, I'm pretty sure. We can take a look at that, actually. So when you make mistakes like that, they cost you. He had Pacheco in that week, but I know there was one week he didn't. Maybe it was 3. Yeah, it was 3. Pacheco had 14. He didn't play him. So he learned a little bit too late, right? That's the problem. But let's go to the matchups. We're going to get through this pretty quick here, and then we're going to get easy in the building. Guerrilla Warfare, ironically, the man I'm talking about, against Team 2 Elite, Lee, who is the 3rd seed right now at 5-1. He's suffered many injuries, though. He had Justin Jefferson go down. Now he had Kyren Williams going down. So it's going downhill for Team 2 Elite. I kind of predicted this. I said this team would come down to earth. They still got a win last week at 5-1, but it's going to be tough to continue that. I think that with the matchups that Guerrilla Warfare has against Team 2 Elite, the problem is I think Team 2 Elite's going to come down with this one. He's going to get another win, so this isn't going to be the week that he goes on his demise. I just think that Guerrilla Warfare's team is absolute dog shit. On paper, it doesn't look completely awful, but the problem is it's just not putting up points. It just isn't. And this Team 2 Elite, despite all their injuries now with Kyren and Justin Jefferson, he's putting up points every week. I can't go against him. I'm picking Team 2 Elite. I got a question here from Josh. Rate my 20-man, Jesus Christ, buddy. 20-man PPR team. You guys might as well get it up to 32 NFL teams and just fucking have a NFL team for real. Jesus, there's been a trade made. It's irrelevant, though. So he's got Russell Wilson, Jonathan Taylor, Aaron Jones, Tyreek Hill, Christian Kirk, Komet, and Jacoby Myers. Yeah, I don't know if a 20-man means you have 20 fucking people in your league, but if you have 20 fucking people in your league, that's a good team. Just all you have to do is say you had Tyreek Hill, and then I would say, yeah, you're probably in first place in a 20-man league because nobody has a lot of good players. Obviously, Aaron Jones and JT they've been hurt and or out, so that kills you. Komet's been good throughout the year. Now, I know he wasn't last week. Christian Kirk's been great. Jacoby Myers has been great. So I'm sure that your team's doing well. In a 20-man fucking league. I've never even heard of that, buddy. Never even heard of that. Pick 2, Marquise Brown, Christian Kirk, or Zay Flowers, PPR. Zay Flowers, Baltimore, going against Detroit. Christian Kirk, Jaguars tonight. And Marquise Brown, Hollywood. Who do they play? Let's take a look. I'm loving it. They play the Seahawks. I'd probably start Zay Flowers every week, no matter what. I don't care about the matchup. Same thing with Christian Kirk. So even though I looked at the matchups for my own health, I'm probably playing Christian Kirk and Zay Flowers and every single time, no matter what. Personally, that's just me though. What the fuck do I know? As Fantasy Football Aces, I'm 6-0. What the fuck do I know? You know what I mean? What do I know? I don't know shit. I'm just 6-0. Started a show, started a little podcast, put it on the air in 2023, featured the league, and what do I know? I'm first place, 6-0. I must know shit. Or maybe I'm fucking a genius or a narcissist. Who knows? Now, let's move on to Bishop Sycamore versus Comeback Kid. Now, Bishop Sycamore has got a real dog shit team, guys. Christian McCaffrey and Bijan Robinson have carried him, but when you see them not have big weeks like they haven't had the last couple, and Bijan has been exactly what I told you he was going to be before the year started, you know, an RB1, but nothing special. That's exactly what he is, and people hated me for it. They added me. They talked trash to me. They said I was a stupid idiot. All kind of nonsense. But guess who's right? It's me again, the 6-0 Fantasy Football Aces, the man in first, the man who knows everything. Now, let's get back to the matchup. In this matchup, I probably would say Jonathan Taylor against Cleveland. Sneaky Kendrick Bourne play. Christian McCaffrey against Minnesota, but he's not going to play a full range of snaps. I mean, you got to go with Comeback Kid in this matchup, and it's a dirty, stinking matchup. But I just think that this Bishop Sycamore character, I think he's got a real bad ball club, and he's not happy about it. Bijan and Christian, they look great on paper, but if they don't go for 20-something plus, along with Tua, who's going against Philadelphia this week, his receivers are just bad. Calvin Ridley's going to run into Marshawn Lattimore tonight, and it's not going to be fun for him. He's starting Jonas Smith, a backup tight end. That's just funny to me. I know that he's been decent. Trust me, I watch the NFL. I pay attention to this more than anything that I do in life. But as you can see, 12, 7, and 11. But if you're going to chase that, you're most likely really in a really bad situation in fantasy football. Good amount of targets, but he's the backup tight end, guys. It's even if they're running a ton of two tight end sets. Let me just show you something real quick. I mean, I'm starting Jameson Williams, so like I'm starting a 26% snap guy. I get that. I understand that. Trust me, he's not gonna always be a starter for me. I'm flying him out. But if you're going to start a tight end, you want him to be on the field 90% of the time at least. Come on, man. There's no other tight ends. It's like I get that Atlanta's going to be in a lot of two tight end sets, but let's take a look at this. So they're not even counting this guy as a tight end. Oh, I see why. 2022. It's about to lose my mind, guys. Week 6, Jonas Smith got 54% of snaps. Kyle Pitts got 56. That's what's happening all year. So you're playing a tight end who's in a 50-50 split, and that's the guy you want to start on a team that's notoriously not wanting to pass the ball. On top of that, you're putting him in the same lineup as Bijan Robinson, who you technically, if you want to reach your ceiling, you don't want Jonas Smith to get the ball at all. You want it to be all Bijan Robinson. In an offense that's really not scoring a lot of points or putting up a lot of yards, it's just a bad ball club, man. It's a real bad ball club. Moving on to the criminals, and I am nice. This is a battle of polar opposites, guys. This is my enemy, Shane, the criminals, who I absolutely despise, versus the nicest guy I know, Gary M. I am nice. I'm not going to waste any time on this one, guys. I'm picking I am nice, and there's no bias there. I've picked criminals almost every single week this year. He has a very good team, but here's the bad news for him. Number one, he has David Montgomery out. Number two, he's probably not going to start a kicker because he wants to keep this shitty-ass bench, which is hilarious to me because he's got guys like Bigsby, Kyler Murray, and Schultz that, 95% of the league doesn't want. I know he doesn't have Fab, so if he drops one of these guys in theory and somebody else picks them up, then yeah, he's going to lose a guy. But I've got news for him if he ever does watch this shit, because I know he's not going to. If he dropped Bigsby, nobody else in this fucking league wants Bigsby, and nobody's going to pick him up. If they did, it would only be to piss him off. But guess what? Who gives a shit? You got ETN. He's not going to get hurt, and you're not going to start a defense this week? God, this guy's a moron, a complete moron. He doesn't understand mathematics. I knew that a long time ago. He's rolling out Mike Mims Jr., a third-string wide receiver who's been dog shit. He made a couple big plays in the beginning of the year, but he's not a major part of the offense. If I showed you snap percentage for him, I mean, it's real low. Then he's got Mason on a Monday night, who is completely up in the air on what's going to happen with him because Christian McCaffrey may come back. Even if he does, I mean, Mason's going to get 20% of snaps, something like that. It's just not a smart play there either. I understand his thought process, but the thing is there's people that he can pick up in free agency who could be a better dart throw than that. And like I said, he can drop Bigsby or Schultz, and I doubt anybody else is going to go after those two guys. Murray, yeah, maybe somebody. But that's something fun to talk about, actually. Kyler Murray. Between him and McCole Hardman getting traded to Kansas City and seeing people rush to their waivers for those two guys, it makes me fucking laugh. I mean, who the fuck? McCole Hardman getting traded back to Kansas City makes you run to the waiver wire? Have you not watched football the last 7 years? They didn't throw him the ball when he was in Kansas City in the offense drafted by them in the second round. He was playing the same role that Kadarius Toney's running, the same role. They're doing the same shit. And now they got two of them. Obviously they brought him in because Justin Houston got hurt, he was going 30% of snaps. So that 30% of snaps, in theory, should all go to Rashee Rice. But I'm sure some of them are going to go to Hardman. But what are you going to do? You're going to get a little jet sweep to Hardman, a little fake jet sweep, and or a little screen pass to him or something like that. I mean, he knows the plays. He's somebody that another body that Mahomes can throw a touchdown to, which is unpredictable. Unless you're starting Rashee Rice, don't start anybody on Kansas City. Obviously, Travis Kelce doesn't count. He doesn't count. He's the guy. But as far as receivers go, it's comical that you would ever go to the waiver wire for McCole Hardman. Now let's talk about Kyler Murray. A running quarterback who's coming off an ACL injury on an offense with no weapons. Does that sound like somebody you desire? Let me say that over again. A running quarterback who's coming off an ACL injury on an offense with no weapons. Does that sound appealing to you? Because I'll tell you what, it doesn't sound appealing to me. Why would you even brag about this guy? What's to be excited about Kyler Murray? Seriously, bro, the Arizona Cardinals, Hollywood Brown, Rondell Moore, and Michael Wilson, the rookie. That's what you're excited about? It's going to be a disaster for Kyler Murray. And like I said, he's a running quarterback coming off an ACL. The man's not going to try to get loose. I think that cost him a season and a half at this point. Why would he be interested in that? So you're talking about a guy who's short trying to play from the pocket. He's like a modern Russell Wilson. The way he makes big plays is getting out of the pocket, extending the play, and making big plays out of that scramble, essentially like playground football. But when you're coming off an ACL injury and your team's bad and your offense is bad and you have no weapons, what's the incentive to try to make plays like that when you are literally coming off an injury. I mean, I don't think it's high. Plus, he has bad matchups later on in the year. He's got a late bye, 14. So it's like, I guess like maybe you would say, yeah, I'll start him in the Super Bowl, week 16. I wouldn't be excited about Kyler Murray. I don't think he's a bad stash, though, especially when you have Kirk Cousins with no Justin Jefferson. So I don't think it's a bad stash, but yeah. I am nice, one of the worst teams in the league. It's not debatable. But, you know, like I said, when he's essentially not starting 1, 2, 3 people with Kirk Cousins going against San Francisco, it's going to be tough for him. DJ Moore without Justin Fields is tough. And ETN against New Orleans tonight's a tough matchup. Kenneth Walker, in theory, should have a huge game. The only way Criminals is going to win this matchup this week is if Kenneth Walker goes for 40. And that's possible. That can easily happen. I can see Kenneth Walker scoring 3 or 4 touchdowns against Arizona. I really could in one path, right? But I am nice in this one. Just based on all the buys that he has and the injuries, and that's going to be his issue this week. But he's got a good team. Criminals has definitely got a good team. In theory, you know, if Kyler Murray worked out for him, then yeah, he's got a favorite to win the Super Bowl. But I don't see that happening. Next up, we got Hurt Thielens versus Automatic Pickens. And in this matchup, I know he got a big bye this week. It's Jamar Chase. Yep. He's finally given up on Tyler Algier, which is going to be good for him. Gus Edwards and Eckler with Shaheed. Shaheed's boom or bust playing tonight. I expect that to be a bust. I love the Rashee Rice pickup. I love the Wan'Dale Robinson pickup. So in theory, if he's got Chase, Hill, Rice with Wan'Dale in the flex with Gus Edwards and Eckler with Jalen Hurts and Kmet with a healthy Justin Fields, this team could definitely make the 6th seed for sure. With that being said, I'd like to see them get bounced from the playoffs. It'd be nice not to face this firepower with Tyreek Hill, Hurts, Eckler, and Jamar Chase. But he's made some decent pickups. It just might, I don't know if it's a little too late at 2 and 4. I don't think so. I think he can make a run. Against Hurt Thielens this week, who I think is also another contender. He's had Adam Thielen, which is hence why he changed his name from the best name in the league, John's team, which is his name. His name's John. This is his team. So he decided to say, hey, John's team. And I thought that was very clever. But now he's Hurt Thielens. He's trying to make a play on his team because his team's hurt, and he's got his best players, Adam Thielen. I think it's corny. I don't like the name. Go back to John's team. That's a public service announcement. Now, as far as his team concerned, you know, with Adams, Olave, and Adam Thielen as receivers, those are fantastic, buddy. Then he's got Lamar Jackson. And he's got Saquon Barkley with Connor if he ever comes back. Until that, he's scrambling. He needs Roshan Johnson to come off this concussion protocol and get him the start that will help him, even though without Justin Fields, I don't buy any of the stock in Chicago running backs. I just think they're going to be losing. They're going to be in negative game scripts. There won't be a lot of running going on in Chicago. Plus, when the threat of the run is gone to the outside with Justin Fields on read options, it makes DNs crash down on the run, and it's going to be a lot harder to run the ball in Chicago without Justin Fields. Now, he's got Barkley and Ahmed this week. Like I said, hopefully he can at least start Roshan Johnson. I like Brown against Seattle. I don't love it, but I like it. And I'm going to take Automatic Pickens in this matchup because I think Rashee Rice is just such a clever guy to have. And he's had him since the beginning of the year. So he's just really developed nicely for him. And that's going to be a great, sexy little piece for him and his team. I actually really like this guy's team if he had a better running back. I tried to make an offer for him with Raheem Mostert. And if he had Raheem Mostert right now, this team would be really scary. So he made bad decisions not making a trade with me. And in hindsight, I'm happy he didn't because Mostert's just unbelievable. And he's been carrying my team without a doubt. Moving on to the last matchup, Physics Dream Team versus Whoopsie. This guy Whoopsie has a ton of buys this week. He's not really paying attention. This could be his demise. Cooper Kupp can definitely carry him, but like I said, he hasn't made any moves yet. He's got a bunch of buys, man. I just can't buy into this team, frankly. And I'm gonna go with Physics Dream Team. Now that's gonna bring us on to the NFL picks. And myself are going to go into that with my man who's in the building, the sharpest man I know on the books, a man who came on here 2 Thursdays ago and gave you 3 picks that all won. He's undefeated on Fantasy Football Aces. Easy, Eric Lynn.
What's going on, brother?
Easy's in the building. What's good, baby?
How you doing, man? Everything's good.
Man, you know what? I would say I've never been better, but I have.
Yes, sir.
Bree, go lay down. So we're gonna get right into it, man. We're gonna go over all the picks this week. That's gonna be the new thing that we do here. We'll start off with Thursday, which we are undefeated on. Thursday night football. We have not taken an L. Even in the Bears game, we said Bears weren't really the pick. Over was the pick, which came through. So that was nice. Tonight, I got a question first. Would you trade Zay Jones and a 2025 second for Drake London? That's 2 years from now, I'm assuming. I don't know, Matt Rich. It would be depending on where you're at in the standings, what your potential is to win this year. What does Drake London do for your team? But I'd say probably so. I probably would. I think I like Drake London personally, especially his future. So if you're going to compare his future to Zay Jones and losing a second round pick, it might be worth it, but I don't know. That's tough. I'd have to see your team and understand all the different variables when it comes to that. Now, with the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Saints, we're not going to do any more questions here. We're just going to talk our picks. It looks like the Saints are down to -2. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean the line started off from the other way.
2.5.
2.5
or 2.
2. I don't know. I'll just say this: take this information and do with it as you wish. The last 12 Saints games have been unders, and the coach for the Jaguars, Peterson, right, hasn't lost on Thursday night. So yeah, take that information for whatever it's worth.
That's unbelievable information. It gives you something to ponder about, huh?
Yeah.
Well, my Thursday night pick is going to be the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think the Sharps are coming in on Jacksonville. That line was 3. Too many points to give to Jacksonville. They're the better team. The thing is, it's always nice to take the home team when the spread's 3 or less, I think. I think especially when they're the dog. Always, yeah. But when they're the favorite, I think it makes it a little bit more doable to take the road team when they're the favorite. I think a -2 home team is probably usually pretty sharp, though. Typically, they're favored because they're home, but they're not as good of a team, which is essentially what the situation you're seeing right here with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Location pushed it because it really is like a pick 'em.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you think they've both been playing really good defense this year, which is an obvious reason why myself and E both think the 40.5 under is the play tonight. Now, if I'm making my pick, because what I'm doing every Thursday is making my team pick, which is the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, with that being said, that's my pick. But just like the Bears Commanders game, where I said my pick, I also said it was a no play. And I think tonight is a no play as well. I think that the Saints have played really good football this year, especially defensively. I think the Jacksonville Jaguars are an elite ball club, and I think that the better team at this time of year should come through. I don't know how serious this Trevor Lawrence injury is, but he's going to play from what I hear. As a matter of fact, I'm going to check on that information right now.
I think it's just going to be a lot of clock killing. Just a bunch of runs. 3 and outs, 3 and outs, 3 and outs.
They keep saying just expected to play. So, I mean, let's just expect them to play, right? But as far as the coin that I play tonight, it's going to be on the under. Me and E are going to ride the under tonight. I think logically we both think that it's an under kind of game. But also, you know, I like the line 40.5 right around that area. I wish it was in the 30s. I know that sounds counterintuitive because why would I want less points? Well, it just tells me more.
Absolutely.
But I can see this game going over because of stupid turnovers, like a pick six or something like that. But outside of that happening, I see them getting stalled a lot and kicking field goals.
Yeah.
Which usually means under, right?
Yep.
Let's move on, though. You heard the pick here tonight. It's Jaguars is the pick, but the coin will be going on the under. Moving on to the Falcons-Buccaneers. This is going to be a 1 p.m. game here in Tampa Bay. Fire the cannons! Oh, stop it, Bree. Bree. Come here. Come here. And the line in that game is very similar. It's Buccaneers minus 2.5 at home. Same kind of thing. They're playing against the Falcons. What do you think?
I'm going to go with the Bucs. They got pretty much embarrassed by Detroit coming in town.
Jameson Williams went up top.
Up top. And we never had a chance.
Yeah, and that game is a no play for me, but this is the kind of game that's going to determine the division. I picked Atlanta to win that division, and so I'm going to stick with Atlanta to pull this victory out, and it like almost a statement kind of game. Like, hey, we're the division team this year. I think they're going to beat out the Saints and the Buccaneers for that division. I said it before the year. I kind of got a little bearish about the Falcons because of what I saw out of them. But this past couple weeks, they're starting to pass the ball a little bit more. I think they have a really good defense, and I can see this game going either way. Hence the line. But as far as it being a division game and a statement game, I'm just gonna roll with the Falcons. I don't think the Buccaneers are for real. I think they were been a little bit of an overachiever this year.
I think I'm stick with my pick that you asked me a couple weeks ago.
Oh yeah, I don't blame you. Moving on to the Raiders Bears. The Raiders are 2.5 favorites on the road against the Bears. Give me some thoughts on that game.
I think it'd be a pretty good game for the Bears to cover.
Yeah, I mean, they got the backup quarterback playing that game.
And everything's marketed towards how you guys suck. So nobody's watching the Bears. It might be a good game that Vegas sneaks one out.
You think that's part of the script?
Whatever it is, the script equals the bags, yeah.
Okay. Remember I said a second ago that you pretty much always take the 3-point or less underdog at home. The Bears would fall in this category. With that being said, I'm rolling with the Raiders. I think the Bears, they're not going to have enough. I think Josh Jacobs is going to pound them pretty good. I think Hoyer is actually going to play better than Jimmy Garoppolo has. They're ruling Jimmy Garoppolo out.
Well, I think that changes everything.
Okay.
Yeah. I thought Garoppolo was playing.
He's not. He's out. It's Hoyer, who
Yeah,
has strong ties to McDaniels because Josh McDaniels, because they played together in New England.
Nah, I'm not changing my pick. I'm sticking with the Bears.
Yeah, and I'm gonna roll with the Raiders. So we're opposite on those two, for my reasons there. I just think that, like I said, the Raiders. The line tells me the Bears, but I just think the Raiders are gonna get that win. I think they're just a better ball club right now. I think the Bears are almost in tank mode at this point. Moving on to the Browns Colts. The Browns are 3-point favorites on the road against the Colts. The 3-2 Browns versus the 3-3 Colts.
I'm gonna pick the Colts on this one, just to flip flop, because everybody thinks that they're such a good team to bet on because they're hot because they beat San Francisco. So I think that's the fade for me for that reason.
Okay. Yeah, I don't blame you for that one. You got Gardner Minshew playing for the Colts. You got the Browns playing against the Colts, and they are at -3. I think it's still up in the air whether or not Deshaun Watson's going to play. The Colts or the Browns have one of the best defenses in the NFL. I'm going to roll with the Colts on this one as well. I agree with what you're saying. I think a 3-point dog at home against a team that just beat San Fran, I think that's one of those perfect kind of games that the opposite happens of whatever, but what people think based off logic. I think Gardner Minshew at home can probably do some good things against the Browns defense that is going to be unexpected. And I think that the Browns offense is not the type of offense that can attack the Colts the way other teams have. I can see this game going either way. I wouldn't play this game personally, but I'll roll with you on the Colts on that one as well. Moving on to the Bills-Patriots. The Bills are 8.5-point favorites on the road against the Patriots at home. 1-5 Patriots against the 4-2 Bills.
I'm going to have to go with the Patriots on this one, and I hate picking them because my reason being is that they should have covered last week because of that safety on 3rd and 15 in their own end zone. They ended up not covering, and I don't think Vegas is trying to keep paying out on this sorry-ass team, so I think Patriots somehow keep it close. They're going to lose, and Bills up by a touchdown.
Yeah, the Bills have played some close games that they probably shouldn't have. I know a lot of people lost money on them last week against the Giants. I think people are actually going to be a little bit of gun show high again. I'm betting on the Bills this week because of how much money they probably lost against the Giants. And specifically because, people probably had a bad week with the Eagles and 49ers plays, so they chased on that Bills game.
And got smoked.
Exactly, and that chasing didn't work. So I think this game, though, an 8.5-point, I think that you're going to see action coming in on both sides. I think a lot of people are going to have the thought process that you had, but the public, for example, who would typically fill in the betting sheets with Bills, I think they're going to be gun shy in this game. I think that a lot of people are going to want to fade the Patriots right now, and this game is also a no play for me. I would not play this game, but if you made me, I would take the points as well. I just think the Bills are struggling a little bit, and I also think I might have a little bit of bias because in fantasy football this week I'm going against Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen, so it's kind of like what I'm hoping for. Like they get locked up a little bit, but I can see this going either way. I can see the Bills rebounding and blowing the Patriots the fuck out because they kind of have owned the Patriots the last few years.
Yeah,
they've owned them since Josh Allen has been the starter. They've kind of owned the Patriots. So, I don't know, man. I think I will take the points in this one. It just seems to me that
I feel too good if I had coin on the Bills. Like, if it doesn't scare me.
And the underdog, agreed. You're scared to put money on Patriots, and also you kind of just want to ride the streak that you're seeing right now with these dogs just, playing these big favorites well. And even the Carolina Panthers, they got up on a 14-0 lead against the Miami Dolphins last week, which was a little bit of a scare in the beginning there. Moving on to the Commanders-Giants. The Commanders Giants is going to be a 3-3 against the 1-5 Giants at home. Commanders are -3 on the road. They're 3-3.
I hate picking the Giants, but I'm gonna take them at home.
There you go, man. This is another week where the Giants, or the home team, I should say, are 3-point underdogs or less. In those situations, you tend to always want to take the home team. I think that they're playing a little bit better with Tyrod Taylor compared to Daniel Jones, ironically. It's a division game. I would not play this game either. Another one that I think is a terrible game to play. But, man, this week's really difficult, man. In this matchup, though, no, I'll take the Giants as well, man. I think that these two teams are pretty equal, even though the record doesn't say so.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're both bad, and I think that you just want to take the home team there. I think they're itching for a W right now. They almost got one against the Bills last week. I think they're going to just play pretty good football against the Commanders.
Should have thrown that flag one more time. Like, I thought that ending was kind of like that.
Waller, yeah, he got PI'd.
Yeah.
I think they missed that for sure. I thought they should have just given the ball to Saquon on the one and just let it die or live. Give it to your best player, maybe on a toss, a little like, fake in toss, something like that, or get Tyrod on the perimeter running to the outside where he has a run pass option. I think that would have been another thing to do. But they did fine. They did a good play. Everybody thought it was going to Saquon. They play action. DeWaller, he was open. They just PI'd him. They held him. They held him, really. Yeah, I'll take the Giants in that one. Moving on to the Lions-Ravens. The Lions are -3 on the road against the Ravens. I think I know who you're going to like in this one.
Is it the Ravens that are favorite, or
Ravens are -3 at home?
Okay, I like the Lions.
Yeah. Really.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of goes against your logic on all these other ones that you've done, because the Lions are hot.
I don't know, man. I just have like a disdain for for Baltimore. No offense, I don't think that's the team.
Yeah,
I think it's beatable, and I think Detroit's going to come in and smoke them.
We have the same thought on this one. I think the Ravens' schedule has been really soft this year. I think that they have no business being -3 against Detroit.
Yeah.
They beat Houston. They beat Cincinnati on the road, which is a good win. They lost to Indianapolis at home. They beat Cleveland on the road. That was an impressive win. But against a third-string quarterback, it doesn't make it as impressive, or second-string, whatever you want to call them. And then they lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then they beat Tennessee in a snoozer. I mean, I don't see one good team on that schedule besides Cincinnati, possibly.
Yeah.
I know Cleveland has a really good defense, but like I said, they were playing their second-string quarterback, who was awful in his first start, and that really dictated that game. This is their first real test. I think Detroit just has an immaculate defense. I think they're going to be prepared and ready to stop Lamar Jackson
every which way possible.
Yeah, and I think you're going to see Jameson Williams go up top on them. I think that Amon St. Brown's going to dominate in his one-on-ones as well. I think that Jared Goff's going to have a big game against them. I mean, like I'm saying a real big game. I think he's going to throw for over 300 yards and like 3 touchdowns.
I like him. He's not turning the ball over.
They have a good offense too, man. If they, like I keep saying, if they figure out that that Jameson Williams should be playing 70 to 80% of snaps, they're going to be damn near impossible to stop. By the way, that could be my pick of the week, guys. Just so you know. So the Lions, I'm pretty bullish about. That'd be the one game this week that I'm pretty bullish about. Moving on to the Steelers Rams. The Rams are -3 at home. A lot of 3-point games this week, huh?
Weekend, yeah.
3 or less. You know what that means? This weekend's going to be a bloodbath. It's going to be hard to pick.
Yep.
3, damn near every single one of these is 3 or less, man. This is incredible.
It's a lot of.
The only one that wasn't was the Buffalo game.
Mm-hmm.
So who you got in this one? Rams at home, 3-3 ball club against Steelers, 3-2.
I see the Steelers coming in covering.
Yeah. I'm going to keep this one as short and sweet. I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail, but I'll say that we're opposite on this for sure. I think for a lot of the reason that I just said about the Ravens having an easier schedule and the Lions kind of exposing them this coming week, I feel the same way about the Steelers. I think the Steelers 3-2 record is just outrageous. I think they're a bad ball club, and I mean they're a really bad ball club. I think Pickett sucks. I think he's one of the kind of quarterbacks that I would try to fade as much as I can. And I think that, Stafford, Cooper Kupp, and Puka Nacua, they got something special. And I think they're going to roll against them. And really, I think Stafford can light them up with no running game.
I agree with everything you said. And the reason why I picked the Steelers is because I feel like that line should have been bigger.
Yeah.
At 3, it's telling me something funny's going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, your logic has been that this whole time tonight. Yeah. The only thing that the only thing is you went against that logic with the Lions-Ravens. Because to me,
maybe I'm just biased there, but
yeah, that has to be something because every single other one you have gone with the sharp pick, in my opinion. I agree with that too. I think it seems to me like the Rams should be like -5.5. But I think with the Steelers being such a public team and they're 3-2, I think that's the reason why the line stays right around where it's at 3. But the Rams aren't that good. I just think that Aaron Donald and company, and Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua with Stafford, I think they're just gonna dominate, man. I think this could be like almost like a coming out party for that team. Like, hey, we're here and we're gonna compete for the playoff spot this year at 4-3. Cardinals, Seahawks. This is a bigger spread. You got the Seahawks at -7.5 against the Cardinals. Who you got in this one?
I got the Cardinals. Division games are always close.
Yeah, Cardinals have played most teams close this year. Seattle's defense is very good this year, though.
Especially at home.
The 7.5 spread is high. This would be a no play for me, but if you made me, I would take the Seahawks because I think the Seahawks defense can dominate in this game, and I think that offensively, they have some of the most talent in the whole NFL with Kenneth Walker, JSN, DK Metcalf, and Tyler Lockett. I think Arizona has shown this year that they really can't stop anybody. I think Seattle's going to go up and down the field on them, and I think Cardinals are going to get stops here. The Seahawks are going to get stops, here and there, and it's going to be enough for them to cover and win this game. I do believe the Cardinals could be one of those games that they backdoor them, though. A late touchdown to break your heart. I can see that happening for sure in that game. So it would be a no play for me, but gun to head, I'll take the Seattle Seahawks. The next one up is the Packers-Broncos. The Packers are -1 on the road against the Broncos. I know who I want in this game, and it's going to be off logic. Who do you want?
I'll pick the Broncos, man.
Let's keep this simple. I like the Broncos a lot in this one as well.
Yeah.
I actually think this is close to being one of my sharp picks of the week. I love that line. Broncos +1 at home. We've been saying it all along. Take the home team when they're 3-point or less dogs all the time. If you do that, you're probably going to be a winner. With that being said, if you pick your spots on the right ones, you'll be even bigger winner. I think the Packers are an absolute dog shit team, and I think that the public and most Packer people, they have a lot of Packer fans out there in this world. They think Jordan Love is decent. They think he's going to light the Broncos up. I think the Broncos played pretty good football against Kansas City last Thursday. And I think they're starting to play better football right now than they have all year. Their defense specifically. Sean Payton, he's a good coach. He's not going to let this team just die.
Right.
I think that the Broncos are going to surprise people, and they're going to come out and play the Green Bay Packers really well, and they're going to win this game, and I like the Broncos. Moving on to the Chiefs-Chargers. Speaking of like a middle-of-the-road line, this is the kind of line me and you probably expected in that Rams-Pittsburgh matchup.
Yeah.
But it is the Chiefs are -5.5 at home against the Chargers, who just came off a loss against Dallas.
I'm going to go with the Chargers on this one. They always play tough against each other. And also my reasoning being that is the Chiefs covered the last 2 games.
Chiefs have been great against the spread all year.
Yeah.
They've been my money team. Anytime I put coin on them, they've come through for me, and it's been great. I love the Chiefs, And it's one of those kind of teams that you're probably super hot with either way, because the only game that they didn't cover this year was against the Lions, and I liked the Lions that week.
Right.
So it's one of those teams that if you're getting them either way, you should probably keep doing it because you're on to something with them. And I actually like the Chargers in this one as well for the same reasons you do. I think the Chiefs will probably win this game on a late field goal or something like that, or maybe a late touchdown to go up
A little
3.
1 yard slide by Mahomes
Down
again,
4 and they score to go up 3 with like a minute left, something like that. But I don't think they'll cover the 5.5. I think that spread's a little too high for these two teams. As you said, if there's one team in the NFL that plays really good defense against Mahomes, it's been the Chargers.
It's always been the Chargers.
Khalil Mack and Boza, they're probably going to get after Mahomes a little bit. I think you're going to see the Chiefs offense struggle a little bit, but they're going to play good defense as well. It's going to be close, and I can see it going either way. But and I'm not going to play that one. But if you made me, I would say take the Chargers as well. That's just too many points. Night game, Eagles, Dolphins. Eagles are -2.5 at home against the juggernaut of the Dolphins right now. That's kind of I guess it's not a surprising line considering the Eagles are a Super Bowl team from last year and they've been undefeated up until last week. But, Dolphins have just been so impressive. The line is kind of something to raise your eyebrow at.
I'm going to take the Dolphins. Take the Dolphins and probably looks like an over kind of aerial game at 51.5.
Yeah. I would like to play the over in that game too. If me and you were hanging out.
Yeah,
I wouldn't do it unless me and you were hanging out. Then I would do it.
Like I would rather not pick a team there. Just just whoever has the ball last is fine with me.
Yeah. I'm with you 100% on that. Actually, if you made me pick a team, I'll take the Eagles at home. I think that it's gonna be a similar kind of game that you saw the Dolphins play against the Bills on the road, where they run into a team that can actually slow that shit down. They're gonna play really good run defense. Mostert's not gonna have a big game against them, so they're gonna have to throw the ball. And I think teams that can kind of like stop Miami from running the ball, I think that they have a really good opportunity to slow their pass game down. I think the reason why the Miami Dolphins are so explosive is because they'll gash you for 6 or 7 yards on a run, or Achane going to the house, Mostert going to the house. And then when they do those play actions, it just is that much more open. Tyreek Hill is running 15-yard in routes with the linebackers sucked in on the play action. It's just so difficult to stop. But the Eagles, the 49ers, a healthy Bills team who have lost Milano and White already amongst others, but a healthy Bills team. But the Eagles, 49ers, those are two defenses that can stop Miami down and actually show the world that, some defenses can slow this shit down, even though it's explosive. I would take Eagles if you had to, but I agree with you. The fun play would be the over. You just take the over and have fun.
Just have fun.
Even if you lose, you have fun.
You're going to do something.
Yeah. Moving on to the 49ers, Vikings. The 49ers are -6.5 on the road against a depleted Vikings team without Justin Jefferson. That's a fishy line.
Yeah, there's so many narratives, man. 49ers got to win because after a loss in Cleveland, Kirk Cousins is terrible on primetime. But Kirk Cousins is also really good at home to keep things close. Brock Purdy, his first time seeing anything tough on the road?
Yeah, he got locked up.
Yeah. Yeah, I think what I'm trying to say is I'm going to go with the Vikings.
Yeah. On this one, I would take 49ers just because I always fade Kirk Cousins. I don't give a fuck. I'll fade Kirk Cousins every fucking time, and I live with the result and be happy. But, yeah, man, that'll do it. Let's see if we got any questions here. We do. How would you play Michael Thomas or Drake? Hey, would you play Michael Thomas or Drake London? Ravens are hosting the Lions. What's the call? Rich, we already talked about that. We said we love the Lions. We don't like them. We love the Lions.
Love them.
Start Olave or Deontay. I would start Olave, and that's not even a question. 100%. Hey, would you play Michael Thomas or Drake London PPR? I would play Drake London. Trade Bijan for 2 first. Trade Bijan for 2 first, 2 second, and Javonte Williams 12-point PPR. These dynasty questions are difficult, guys, because I don't know any context. I don't know your position in the standings. I don't know any of those things. I don't know how good your quarterback is. And the reason why that's important is because if you're trading for 2 firsts, that means that you're probably going to get an opportunity to get Caleb Williams. But I don't know if you already have a good quarterback on your dynasty league. So it's impossible for me to answer that question. My gut instinct says don't trade Bijan Robinson, though, in dynasty. You're talking about a guy who's going to be probably the best running back in the NFL the next 10 years. So that's tough, but I don't know context. I don't know what's going on with your team. I think that if we're getting that much back, I assume that the person who's making that trade, it's going to get them a Super Bowl this year. That's the reason why they want to do it. I think it's actually a smart play. 2 first, 2 second. I don't know how even that works, like how you get 2 first-round picks, because the guy you're trading for is only going to be able to give you 1. So I'm assuming maybe the next year first round and then the following year first round. And same thing with second and second. And Javonte is a good piece for dynasty. So my gut instinct says do that trade, but I would need more context. Alex Stivers, 1-5 PPR, triple flex, 12-man league, QB Baker, commit. Man, that's too much to ask, man. I don't even know 1-5 PPR, triple flex, 12-man league. I don't even know what that means. 1-5. That's just a difficult one, man. I don't really even know what you want me to ask. I wouldn't make any moves, I don't think. I need way more context than that. Should I trade James Cook for Achane? I need more context on that as well, man. These questions that people ask me, you ask me with no context. And what that means is, that means I don't know your running back situation. I don't know where you're at in the standings. I don't know what happens to your team while you wait for Achane to come back off the IR, who you're going to be able to start in his place. I don't know, and I need to know your standing, where you're at in the standings, because then that's important, because Achane's going to miss at least 3 more weeks on the IR, at least. A blanket statement without me knowing any context, like I would probably say no. I would not trade James Cook for Achane, because I think 4 or 5 weeks that he's going to miss is too valuable. And James Cook doesn't have a bye until week 13. So he's going to play every single one of those weeks. Now, if he had a bye one of these next couple weeks, then it would make more sense, because then you're trading one of those weeks for Achane being on the IR. And not only that, but Achane, the Miami Dolphins, I believe their bye is it's week 10. So yeah, you're going to lose. I think in theory, they'll probably want him back week 11. I don't know. I probably wouldn't do that one. I'm 6-0, CMC, Kenneth, Cup, Olave, Goddard, and flex James Cook. Bench Warren, Zach Evans. Yeah, that makes it even tougher, man. So you're going to have to start Zach Evans if you make that trade instead of James Cook. Zach Evans is only going to be possibly the starter for the next 2 to 3 weeks. He has a bye coming up as well. Week 10. It's no guarantee that he's even the starter for long. I think that you're better off picking up Latavius Murray, putting Latavius on your bench, and then just solidifying that backfield. And then if one of them gets hurt, then you got a 3-down horse in a strong Buffalo Bills offense. Right now, they're in a 50-50 split. I know it sucks. Trust me, I have James Cook as well. He's going to be my flex this week, but I have Tony Pollard, DeAndre Swift, and Raheem Mostert as well. Those are my 3 backs. And then James Cook's my fill-in guy. I think better things are ahead in store for James Cook simply based on the fact that you can afford to trade James Cook for Achane, man. I'm going to be honest with you. You could. You're 6-0. You got Tua, CMC, and Kenneth Walker with Kupp, Olave. That's strong. When you get Achane back, hypothetically, you get him back as healthy. He's a league-winning type of flex to go along with CMC and Kenneth Walker. Man, I that's a really tough one. I think what you do is you make that trade, yes, and then you also pick up Latavius Murray and then hope that James Cook gets hurt. That's kind of like what you do. And then you get a 2-for-1. You get the running back for the Bills and you get Achane when he comes back. I think because you're 6-0, yeah, you got Jameson and Williams as well. Yeah, make the trade, man. James Cook for Achane. I like that trade. And then you at your flex position, pick up Latavius Murray, and then you could start Jameson Williams in the flex if he continues to get hot. You have Roshan Johnson, who you could possibly play this week or next week, it sounds like. And you got Zach Evans, who you can play this week instead of James Cook. And then when you get Achane back, your team is unbelievable. I think that's worth it. I think it's if James Cook was playing better football right now and he was getting 70% of snaps instead of 50-50 with Latavius Murray, I would say absolutely don't do that trade. Those 4 weeks that you're gonna be missing Achane it's gonna hurt you. But because you're 6-0, which is important, and you have guys that can fill in, and I'm a huge Jameson Williams fan, by the way. Did I read that right? Yeah, you said wide receivers on bench. Oh, you have Tank Dell too? Oh, my God. Yeah, do that trade, man. It's going to be worth it when Achane comes back. You can win a Super Bowl with Achane. I don't think you're going to be able to win the Super Bowl with James Cook. And you can slide by in the flex with other players until then. And I'm a big Jameson Williams believer. I think things are going to get better for him when he gets more snaps. Is Etienne a lock tonight, even with a tough matchup? Absolutely. You're not taking Etienne out of your lineup. You can't. He's too good. He's matchup proof. Unless you're in a 10-man league where you have tons of good running backs, which I find impossible for you to be able to have anybody to start over Etienne. Etienne's been a top 5 back in the NFL this year in fantasy football. And not only that, he's getting the volume. He's a 3-down horse dog. There's only like 3 or 4 of those guys in the league right now. As you can see about this James Cook question, he's in a 50-50 split with Latavius Murray, a fucking 33-year-old running back. So when you have a running back like Etienne who's not splitting with anybody, he's the true 3-down horse. Give the man the ball, man. And you start him every single week. Now, that'll do it for tonight. E and I are going to order some food, breeze and fucking go outside. It's going to be a beautiful night. Take the under. Take Jacksonville or the under. Until then, I'll see y'all boys Sunday with Fantasy Football Aces. We're going to try to move to 7-0. We'll have James O. Correa in the building. Peace.